Hey everyone, I'm back again with a small project. I'm basically building a new cart for my Everlast PowePlasma 50 plasma cutter, for those who aren't familiar with this. I ordered a new machine, Everlast Power TIG 210 EXT. It was supposed to show up today, but UPS apparently lost it at some point. The tracking stopped shortly after they picked it up from Everlast, and I was hoping that they had just screwed up the label or something and weren't able to scan it, but it didn't show up, so now we're going through the process of trying to find it. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. I want to get this plasma cutter off this cart and onto its own cart, just because this is something that I want a smaller cart to wheel around and get into tighter spaces here in the shop, or maybe out in the driveway, or wherever I'm working. Plus, the TIG welder is going to be on this cart, and I'm going to modify this for both my power I-Mig 200 and the TIG welder. Anyway, that's another story. So basically, this is the base structure of the cart. There's going to be a lot added to it. Obviously, if I put the weight of that plasma cutter here, it's going to sag down pretty far. This is the material is 3/4 inch 16 gauge tubing. The top shelf is 10 by, hold on, measure that real quick because I forgot, 18.5. So 10 wide, 18.5 deep. Bottom shelf is 18.5 deep by 16 inches wide. Okay. I didn't want to do the top shelf as wide as the bottom because I didn't really see any need for it. I thought it was just going to be a waste of material. Also because I want the plasma cutter to kind of be into an area that's a little snug. What I'm probably going to end up doing is build some sort of a curved piece of square tubing and create a side rail and a back rail to keep it kind of boxed in there. And then I don't know, I may make a rigid mount to clamp it down to the shelf and make sure it doesn't fall out. I'll figure all that stuff out later. That's going to be pretty much the end process of what I'm working on. Right now what I'm doing is I'm getting ready to finish the bottom shelf off. The bottom shelf is going to be, what I'm going to put on there is my air compressor over here. It's my California Air Tools 4620A ultra quiet air compressor, and they're not lying, it is very, very quiet, especially for an oilless. It's quieter, this thing is quieter than any oil air compressor, and it is leaps and bounds quieter than any oilless compressor I've ever heard in my life. I use this to power my plasma cutter. I know you guys will be saying that's not enough air, you're going to develop moisture, blah, blah, blah. It's plenty enough air for this. It runs really, really cool. The only time I've ever developed moisture in the line were my filtration traps. The air water separator, not this one, but the other one I have on my lines, has ever collected any kind of moisture has been when I've painted, or when I've used the plasma cutter to cut up this truck over here. I was using it for a lot of cuts, but I have never ever gotten it to the point where this has collected any moisture, and none of my consumables show any moisture marks from moisture. So I think I'm good. I am going to build some sort of setup here on the back of this specifically for the air filters and stuff, but that's another story. As far as what I'm going to use for the shelf, I'm just going to actually use plywood. 3/4 inch plywood. I know you guys are saying don't use wood, you're in a welding shop, what are you thinking? I've got wood on this cart, both of those shelves, and that was going to be temporary, but I don't have any problems with it, okay? I've welded on this, I've plasma cut it on this, I've grinded on this. There's a lot of grinding dust all over those shelves and plasma dust. No kind of problems whatsoever. And this is not going to have any of that activity being on there. This is just solely a shelf. My leads are going to come off to whatever I'm working on someplace else. It'll be fine. I'm not trying to spend any money on this. I'm trying to use all materials that I have here in the shop. So, the casters, Harbor Freight casters, they're 3-inch swivels with the brakes. They're all swivels. They'll be welded to the corners in this vicinity right there, obviously underneath. The weight of the air compressor will keep this thing from toppling over. I'm gonna, once the air compressor's in here and positioned where I want it, I'm gonna work on a design to strap that compressor down so I don't have to worry about it falling off the cart or vibrating off the cart. And then I'm going to work on some braces for this front section to keep it from sagging down from the weight of the plasma cutter. And then I'll start working on the top section as well. But that's what I got going on. If you're watching this video on YouTube, check my channel for the part 2 and whatever, the follow-up videos, because this is the end of this one. If you're looking at this video on my website, just stay put. It will automatically play the rest of them because I have this on a video playlist. Like always, subscribe, comment, like. Check out the links below. Or if you're on my website, they'll be above the video. I'll have the link to the California Air Tools compressor where you can buy that on Amazon, as well as my Everlast PowePlasma 50 and my Everlast Power I-Mig 200. Both great machines, definitely a worthwhile investment. And that's pretty much it. If you're, if you're a subscriber on YouTube and you're watching this on YouTube, go check out my website, alvarezmetalworks.com, and I will talk to you guys later.